Born and raised in Spearman, Texas, 100 miles north of Amarillo. As a kid growing up, I was hell on wheels. Grew up showing horses, showing steers, baseball, football, basketball, you name it, small town. You do a little bit of everything. I'm kind of one of those ready, fire, aim kind of kids. Was actually me and my best friend at the time, David Pipkin. It was during pheasant season. My dad said, "I'll take you hunting as soon as we finish checking cattle." So finished checking cattle. David and I were ready to go, and lo and behold, as we pulled out of the ranch onto the county road, the windshield of my dad's truck hit a pheasant, and it was laying in the road behind us. So of course, me and David jump out. We're anxious to see who can get to the bird first. I jump in the back of the truck thinking that's the quickest way to get there. David's running down the bar ditch, and with me being anxious, I slipped underneath and fell underneath the truck. Suffered 2 fractures in my femur, dislocated hip, and severe damage to both my right and my left pelvic area.
He'd grown up his whole life limping because his legs were different lengths. He's always loved golf, but he could never walk the golf course because he had this leg injury, but he'd still been very happy and active his whole life. So finally the time came, he had to get that hip replaced because it wasn't doing its job anymore, so had the hip replacement. He was actually receiving physical therapy at a different clinic and was almost done with the hip recovery and broke his leg, the same leg, just below where the new hardware was in. So he had to have another surgery, and he called me and he had a friend that had therapy at the rehab. So he called me and said, "Morgan, I think I want to come have therapy there, but I just don't really know what to do. I don't know where to go from here." And I told him, "We can definitely work with you. Get a referral, come here, we're gonna get you all fixed up."
It's still been kind of a work in process, but just the relief and the knowing that, hey man, you can do something that you missed out on doing for a long time. It's just it's a blessing. It really is.
I think internally he was pretty frustrated, but you would never know it. Every morning he'd come in and he'd give you a high five and you'd ask, "How are you doing today?" And we want to hear about his pain and how he was sore after the last therapy, and he always said, "Good, today is a great day." So he was just always excited to do anything new that we could do that day, which is invigorating kind of to a PT, that he was ready for any new challenge we could come up with.
I feel like I'm a paper scratch compared to what some people are going through in life. Again, goes back to it ain't gonna slow me down, and I see some of the things that people are going through, and you just look at them and they just put a big smile on their face and they want to just carry on a conversation, even though their world is completely turned upside down. And to have those men and women at West Texas Rehab working daily miracles in their lives and many lives. I cannot think of a better place to put my money in this community.